Welcome to Scholastic IQ, the game where knowledge rules. I'm your host, Ethan Neer, and we have another great episode in store for you today with two more fantastic teams. So let's introduce those teams. From Carterville, we have Abby, Gabe, Harish, and Ryan. And from Trico, we have Silas, Leah, Brayden, and Maddie. So, as we've introduced our teams, let's just do a quick refresher of the rules. We'll start off with some toss-up questions. Each of those will be worth 10 points. If a team gets that right, they move on to a bonus question, which is worth 20 points. If a team gets a bonus question wrong, however, another team can steal that bonus for 10 points. You guys are allowed to interrupt me at any time, but if you interrupt me and get the question wrong, it's 5 points to the other team. So if you're gonna do it, make sure you're right. If we all understand the rules, let's go ahead and get into the questions. What French painter used Victorin Marron as the model for both his painting Olympia and for a depiction of an outdoor picnic, Lunch on the Grass? Harish.
Monet.
Monet is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the Charter Oath was a declaration by what Japanese emperor who took power as a part of a namesake restoration that ended the Tokugawa shogunate?
Hirohito.
Hirohito is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer we're looking for was Meiji. Meiji. On to our next question, pencil and paper ready. If a 2/3 majority is required and 186 ballots are cast, what is the minimum number of yes votes needed for passage? Harish.
124.
124 is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what name is given to the plane of Earth's orbit as well as the path the sun traces out in the sky throughout the year?
Orbit.
Orbit is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer we're looking for was ecliptic. Ecliptic plane and ecliptic orbit. For our next toss-up, what president who fled to Germany during the May 1968 student protests founded the Fifth Republic and led the Free French forces in World War II? Harish.
De Gaulle.
Charles de Gaulle is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what poem by John Keats describes a beverage from the warm South and uses the phrase light-winged dryad of the trees to refer to the title creature?
The Pelican.
Pelican is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer we're looking for was Ode to a Nightingale. To a Nightingale. Back to the toss-ups. What country, which ceased issuing pennies in 2013, introduced in 1987 a coin known as a loonie, which it issues from its royal mint in Winnipeg? Gabe.
Canada.
Canada is correct. The loonie, not the only coin, the $2 coin known as a toonie because it's two loonies. Because Canada makes sense. It all makes sense. For your bonus, in Norse myth, what plant from which Frigg did not extract an oath did Loki use to make the spear that killed Balder?
Mistletoe.
Mistletoe is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What substance whose depletion after death causes rigor mortis consists of a nucleoside bound to an ion containing 3 atoms of phosphorus? Sorry, you guys are all out of time. The answer we're looking for was ATP. ATP. Take it to the next toss-up. What event, whose pretext was the murder of diplomat Ernest von Rath, was a 1938 Nazi pogrom named after the damage to synagogues and Jewish shops? Gabe.
The Night of Broken Glass.
The Night of Broken Glass or Kristallnacht is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Pope Paul VI enacted a program of aggiornamento, or updating, at what modernizing 1960s ecumenical council?
UNESCO.
UNESCO is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer you're looking for was the Second Vatican Council. And that'll take us to our first media question. This song by Imagine Dragons and Jid was recorded for an animated Netflix series based off a video game. Ryan.
Enemy.
Come again?
Enemy.
Enemy is incorrect. Based off the video game series League of Legends. Name this Netflix series. So we're looking for the name of the show. Brayden.
Arcane.
Arcane's correct. Well done. And since that is a media question, there is no bonus question. So we'll just take it back to toss-ups. What character says that a man can be destroyed but not defeated, mentors Meneline, and catches a marlin in an Ernest Hemingway book set on the sea? Harish.
The old man.
The old man is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what golf tour sponsored by Saudi Arabia, whose CEO is Greg Norman, allegedly offered Tiger Woods more than $500 million to join?
Dubai Golf.
Dubai Golf is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
PGA.
PGA Golf is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Live Golf. Golf. Back to the toss-ups. What rock formed by compression of organic matter has varieties including anthracite, bituminous, and lignite, and is a solid fossil fuel? Wait, Aaliyah.
Coal.
Cole's correct. Well done. For your bonus, Open Your Head was one of the unusual performance directions provided by what French composer whose works for piano include the Gymnopédies? Or Xynopédies, if we're pronouncing it in French.
Franz.
Franz is incorrect. Carterville, a chance to steal.
Joe Menopee.
Gentlemen, he's incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Eric Satie. For your toss-up, what author of Fratelli Tutti, a 2020 encyclical advocated for same-sex civil unions in a 2020 interview and currently leads the Catholic Church? Gabe.
The Pope.
The Pope is not quite the answer we're looking for. Braden.
Francis.
Francis is correct. I was seeing if I needed specifically Pope Francis I, but Francis is correct. Well done. For your bonus, a 1054 supernova observed by Chinese, Arab, and indigenous American astronomers created what nebula visible in the constellation Taurus?
Pass.
All right, Carterville.
Orion.
Ryan is incorrect. The answer is Crab, the Crab Nebula. Back to the toss-ups. What fruit whose varieties include caracara, blood, and navel? Gabe.
Orange.
Orange is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in September 2021, a new defense pact was signed by the U.S., Britain, and what country, then led by Prime Minister Scott Morrison?
Australia.
Australia is correct. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. For the next toss-up, in what battle fought at Freeman's Farm and Bemis Heights did Horatio Gates capture a British army in a 1777 turning point in the Revolutionary War? Harish.
Yorktown.
Yorktown is incorrect. Trico, you still have the chance to answer. Sorry, you guys are all out of time. The answer is the Battle of Saratoga. Battle of Saratoga. The next toss-up. What writer described the officer's painful execution in the story In the Penal Colony and wrote about Gregor becoming a bug in the Metamorphosis? So you guys are all out of time. The answer you're looking for is for Franz Kafka. Franz Kafka. And that'll take us to another media question. This flag belongs to the country that is a transcontinental country in Eastern Europe and North Asia. It is the largest country.
Russia.
Russia is correct. Well done.
I don't know why I did not listen.
Back to the toss-ups. In what building, which Brian Sicknick died a day after defending, was Ashley Babbitt shot as a part of a mob that overran it on January 6th, 2021?
Capitol building.
Capitol building is correct. Well done, Reach. For your next question, in 2021, a Canadian group decided to release 50 million pounds from its reserve of what sweet food made by gathering sap from a specific type of tree?
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup is correct, and there's also more than one maple syrup bank in Canada. I think there's 3, and they have like over 200 million pounds of syrup. It's ridiculous. They're prepping for the end of the world in a very unique way. For your toss-up, what metallic element is found in the mineral argonite, is used by corals to build their skeletons, and is combined with phosphate in human bones? Right.
Calcium?
Calcium's correct. Well done. For your bonus, long-range weather forecasting is difficult partly due to what phenomenon in which a system is highly sensitive to its initial conditions?
No answer.
Answer, Carterville. A chance to steal.
Hyperson.
Everson's incorrect. The answer we're looking for was chaos or the butterfly effect. Next toss-up. What author who began writing the gay romance Morris in 1913 described a false accusation that Adela makes against Dr. Aziz in A Passage to India? I was really getting worried. I was like, I feel like it had been 10 seconds. The answer we're looking for was E.M. Forster. And now we'll take it to the lightning round. The way our lightning round works is each team will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as they can about a particular topic. Now, Trico, since you guys are trailing, you will have the chance to pick your topic first. So I'll read them out for you. Your topics are 20th century artists, NBA beginnings, Sam's, and I am.
I think we should do I am. That's pretty bad. You go with that? I think we'll go with I am.
I am. All right. I am. Answer the following about phrases containing the word I am. Get my papers set up. All right. And 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you guys down. 3, 2, 1. Play in which Mercutio says, I am hurt, a plague upon both your houses.
Pass.
A religious figure who says, I am the light of the world.
Jesus.
That's correct. Sith Lord who proclaims, I am the Senate.
Pass.
Frenchman who says, Cogito ergo sum, or I think therefore I am.
Solipsism.
That's incorrect. God whose avatar Krishna proclaims, I am become death.
Oppenheimer.
That's incorrect. A movie franchise in which Lightning McQueen boasts, I am speed.
Cars?
Yeah.
That's correct. Philosopher who wrote the essay, Why I Am Not a Christian.
Pass.
Biblical character who says, I am escaped with the skin of my teeth.
Judas.
Judas is incorrect. All right. So you guys passing some and missed them, so we'll go through the ones you passed and missed. Play in which Mercutio says, I am hurt, a plague both your families, is Romeo and Juliet. Sith Lord who proclaims, I am the Senate, was Emperor Palpatine in Return of the Sith? The third one, right? Yeah, Haresh, yeah, you guys are nodding. Okay, cool. I'm seeing how well I remember my Star Wars movies. Frenchman who says, Cogito ergo sum, or I think therefore I am, is Rene Descartes. God whose avatar Krishna proclaims, I am become death. Oppenheimer also said it, but it was Vishnu. You got the movie franchise right. Philosopher who wrote the essay Why I'm Not a Christian is Bertrand Russell. Biblical character who says I am escaped with the skin of my teeth is Job. French king who says L'été c'est moi, or I am the state, is Louis XIV. And president who said Ich bin ein Berliner was John F. Kennedy. All right. With you guys out of the way, it's now to Carterville. I'll reread your topics for you. You have NBA beginnings, 20th century artists, or SAMS, S-A-M-S.
Sam's.
Sam's it is. All right. Answer the following about people whose name starts with Sam. Pretty self-explanatory on that one. I'll give you 60 seconds on the clock, and I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1. Pen name of the author, Samuel Clemens.
Mark Twain.
That's correct. Samantha Power was ambassador to this organization.
NATO.
NATO is incorrect. Singer of Stay With Me and the James Bond theme, Writing on the Wall.
Howard.
That's incorrect. First president of the Republic of Texas.
Houston.
That's correct. AFC East team that drafted quarterback Sam Darnold.
Pass.
Sam Spade is the protagonist of this detective novel.
Sherlock Holmes.
That's incorrect. This man's diary describes London's Great Fire.
Pass.
Sammy Brady is a character on this soap opera set in Salem.
Salem Witch Trials.
That's incorrect. Explorer who names a lake between New York and Vermont.
Pass.
Composer of a 1936 Adagio for four strings. And you guys are all out of time. The Samantha Power was the ambassador to this organization. It was not NATO, it was the UN. Singer of Stay With Me, the fake Stay With Me, not the good Japanese one. And the James Bond theme's Writings on the Wall is Sam Smith. AFC East team that drafted quarterback Sam Darnold was the New York Jets. Sam Spade is the protagonist of this detective novel, The Maltese Falcon. This man's diary describes London's Great Fire with Samuel Pepys. Sammy Brady is a character on this soap opera set in Salem is Days of Our Lives. Explorer who names a lake between New York and Vermont is Samuel de Champlain. And composer of a 1936 Adagio for strings is Samuel Barber. All right, so that will conclude our lightning round, and let's just take a quick update at the scores. So Trico was 65, Carterville at 170. Still a pretty close game, to be honest with you guys. In Trico, you still have the back half to catch up, so no reason you can't. And let's take it back to the toss-ups. What U.S. streaming service, which streamed the 2022 Eurovision Song Contest and the reboot Bel Air, is named after the logo of parent network NBC? Brayden.
Peacock?
Peacock's correct. Well done. For your bonus, which Russian Tsar defeated the Decemberist revolt after succeeding his brother Alexander I in 1825 and shares his name with a Tsar shot in 1918?
Pass.
All right.
Peter.
Peter is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Nicholas I. Shares the name with Nicholas II, who was shot in 1918. For your toss-up, what mountain under which the giant Typhon was said to have been buried lies between Catania and Messina and is an active volcano on Sicily?
Etna.
Etna is correct. Well done. I'm sure Jesse is cringing because I think I messed up some of the Roman names on that one, but well done nonetheless. And for your bonus, if the original statement of a conjecture is if P, then Q, what logical position is represented by the statement, if not Q, then not P?
If-then statements.
That is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
Equivalence.
That is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was contrapositive. Back to our toss-ups. What colorful object is used to create a deserving porcupine, an apple tree, and a moon in a Crockett Johnson picture book about a child named Harold? Ryan.
The purple crayon.
Harold and the Purple Crayon is correct. I was smiling because I think we were just talking about this book the other day with Rachel. Wow. And for the bonus, Aunt Lydia is the narrator of what 2019 Margaret Atwood novel that is a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale?
The Bridesmaid.
Bridesmaids is incorrect. Trico, chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer we're looking for is The Testaments. And that will take us to another media question. This American animated action-adventure television, Gabe.
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom is correct. What a good TV series. Fantastic TV series. And since it's a media question, no bonus, we'll take it back to the toss-ups. What man, who a civil jury found liable for Ron Goldman's death, was acquitted in 1995 of murdering his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and is a former NFL star? Gabe.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson's correct. For your bonus, what 1963 Supreme Court case held that the Sixth Amendment requires that states provide indignant defendants with an attorney?
Marbury v. Madison.
That is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
Pass.
The answer we're looking for was Gideon v. Wainwright. Back to the toss-ups. What social science received its own Nobel Prize in 1968 was studied by John Maynard Keynes and The Wealth of Nations author Adam Smith? Harish.
Political science.
Political science is incorrect. Brayden, I see your finger hovering over that buzzer. It's better to guess.
Scientology.
Scientology is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was economics. Economics. And for our next question, pencil and paper ready. What is the simplified form of the product 6ab squared multiplied by 3a cubed b? Gabe.
18a cubed b cubed.
18a cubed b cubed is incorrect. You guys are all out of time. Gabe, very close on that one. It was 18a to the fourth b cubed. So there's one off there. I'll take us to another toss-up. What city is home to Berkshire Hathaway, shares a metropolitan area with Council Bluffs, Iowa, and is the most populous city in Nebraska? Leah.
Kansas City.
Kansas City is incorrect. Harish.
Omaha.
Omaha is correct, also famous for their steaks that they keep calling me about. Back to your bonus. Sisimiut is the second most populous city on what island whose native name is Kalalit Nunat?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer you're looking for was Greenland. Back to the toss-ups. What was the classical name for the area where the siege of Aliza took place during Vercingetorix's war with Julius Caesar in present-day France? Harish.
Gaul.
Gaul is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in what city did Martin Luther King deliver his "I've been told to the mountaintop" speech during a strike by sanitation workers in 1968?
Selma.
Selma is incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
Memphis.
Memphis is correct. Well done. And I'll take us back to the toss-ups. What group 14 element, which can be purified by reducing quartz, is used in most semiconductors and is a metalloid whose atomic symbol is Si? Ryan.
Silicon.
Silicon is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what director of Pacific Rim and Pan's Labyrinth won Best Director for the Best Picture-winning film, The Shape of Water?
Tarantino.
Tarantino was incorrect. Trico, a chance to steal.
No answer.
Answer you're looking for was Guillermo del Toro. And that will take us to another media question. This flag belongs to the country that is a federal republic in West Africa. It borders Niger in the north, Chad in the northeast, and Benin in the west. Its largest city is Lagos, and name this country's flag. Harish.
Nigeria.
Nigeria is correct. Well done. I'll take us back to the toss-ups. What Greek goddess was the daughter of Chaos, had numerous children with Uranus, including the Titans, and was the personification? Leah.
Gaia.
Gaia is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what convert to Christianity was struck blind on the road to Damascus?
Saul.
You said Saul?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I accept that answer. That is correct. The other answer I was looking for was St. Paul the Apostate. And that bell means it is all the time we have for on today's show, so let's take a look at the scores. It is Trico ending at 115 and Carterville at 250, so all in all, a very tight game. So with that being all that time we have for today's show, I'd like to thank all of my lovely guests who have been playing tonight, all the people working hard behind the cameras and in the studio. I'm Ethan Neer. Thank you so much, and good night.